Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Friday, final edition of Sunny Cathy's 5-minute sermon. Yours truly, Sunny Cathy here. Don't know why I like the name of my ministry. My 5-minute sermon so much. But great to see you. Good to see Christy Laro. We've been missing you on prayer and 5-minute sermon. So great to see you back, and hope everything's going well. Wayne Cook, great to see you, and Sheila Kelly, and Big Bad John. But good to see you all, and hope you had a wonderful 4th of July. We did. Savannah invited us out to a function they had on their street. They've got a lot of young couples there, and they have a great time. And I usually don't go. I usually send Janine. I mean, it was 100 degrees nearly, and but they had a nice tent up, and I didn't get hot. Got a little muggy, but I didn't get hot and sickly. And boy, Kylo and Savannah and Derek were so happy to see me. I felt like a celebrity because, like I say, Janine usually does everything without me, a lot of things. So happy that I could go make her not a widow wife prematurely like I always do when she goes shopping without me and goes to other functions without me, but trying to get out more and do better, do things and get to moving instead of sitting in my chair. And so anyway, it was great to be out. I hope you had a great 4th. Let's see who else has showed up. It looks like the same crew right now. I don't know what's going on with George Sutherland. I hope he's okay. I haven't heard from him, and he's always on. But just want to thank everybody. I posted, or the ones that could give, posted about an air conditioner need in Pakistan, our adopted family there. They adopted me several years ago. He lost his dad as a young child, pastors a good church, and has wonderful children. They call me and Janine Grandpa and Granny, and we until recently have tried to send them birthday presents, everybody, and of course, my goodness, it gets so out of hand. We wish we could do for everyone, but we just can't. But anyway, we bought them an air conditioner several years ago. Several people gave, and that air conditioner, of course, like all things made by man, failed a long time ago. And the little girl, Sylvia Joy, who has a great ministry herself, wrote us and said, took a picture of one of the little kids, one of her siblings, just sweating and a rash all over him from the heat. And the dad had a rash and didn't ask me for anything. I mean, I'm sure that their posting wanted something, but I felt led. I thought, I can't leave this family in this heat. I would die. I'll be honest with you, folks. It's 100 degrees in Texas, and I would die without an air conditioner. And not to just mention just being uncomfortable. They're used to it, and they will survive, but it's how uncomfortable. But anyway, several of you rallied to the cause within minutes. Wayne Cook, Birdie, Morgan Casey, I think is on Facebook. Morgan Salters, we call her Birdie. David Haney, Marilyn Linder Neal. Who else? My goodness, I don't want to forget anybody. Let's see. The Malazzos, Pam and Guy Malazzo, pastors that I preach for in Louisiana. Oh, God, help me not to. And Janine and I are giving. But anyway, the air conditioner, we got enough for it. Matter of fact, Brother Wayne Cook, the air conditioner was $625. I think by the time, what I'm going to do is send our money to Haiti now that this air conditioner need is met. But I'm going to send them some to Pakistan. But we're going to give them about $700. Air conditioner $625. But I just wanted to thank everybody, and I pray I'm not missing somebody. If I think of it, I'll let you know. But anyway, thank you so much for rallying to the cause and giving. You're not lifting yourself up. I'm lifting you up. So God's going to bless you and give you credit for it. Bible says don't toot your own horn, but unless you just tell me not to do it, I really want to thank you all for rallying to the cause. And really appreciate that. I'm going to Western Union that money today, and they're going to have that air conditioner probably by tomorrow in their house. So God bless you all, and thank you. But anyway, let's get into our sermon today. We're talking out of John 6:12. frugality, according to Jesus. And the things that Jesus taught were practical. They weren't only spiritual, though I would say they were also have a spiritual connotation. But Jesus taught you how to live life. And so we're learning some things here about just practical living. We're going to learn something today, and I hope young people listen to this. I have a passion for young people to get their financial house in order when they're young, and I tell them all, you can be millionaires easily by just, doing the right things. Just to give you an example, I know this isn't much. I mean, we've got a great businessman on here. Wayne Cook is a tremendous businessman. The Cooks have been givers all their lives. I'm talking about him and all of his relatives have been generous people. They're legendary in Indiana and Michigan. I've heard about them long before I ever preached in South Bend about how this family blesses the kingdom of God. And so this man could teach us many things on finances. He's got a buffalo herd, folks. I think they call them bison, but he's got a buffalo herd and companies, and I just thank God for the Cooks and their example. But I didn't learn this young. I didn't have a family that taught us how to even do a checking account. They weren't ignorant people. My mama was very brilliant. My dad was a smart man. He passed Texas A&M when they made the policemen get certified. My dad passed with flying colors at Texas A&M. He had already been a cop many years, and then he got certified, lifetime certification. So neither one of them were ignorant, but they just didn't think to send us to college, and they didn't think to teach us how to, do finances. And so Janine and I got married. I was 17 years old, and Janine was 16. And we just didn't know anything. I was in construction work, and I'd been a cook since 11 years old, washing dishes since 9. We both worked hard, very hard. But we just didn't know what to do with the money. I mean, we didn't have much, but we didn't know what to do with it. And so it took me till about 15 years ago to figure out, you save money and you'll never miss it. And sure enough, I started putting 10% back, and I didn't miss it because we didn't have it there. We never had luxurious furniture and luxurious things that we blew our money on, but somewhere the money went. And so, when we sold our house, for example, I wasted about 2 or 3 years recently thinking, well, we're going to buy another house, so I don't want to tie the money up. Well, a year ago, I said, no, I've got to at least put it in a CD. And so we made about $3,000 last year just sitting here at home, and the money making us money. This year, we're making over $3,000 on it. I renewed it. And so that's $6,000 to just sit here at home and the money growing at the bank. Now, I know that's not a lot for people that are invested. They'd go, 5%? My goodness, are you crazy? Well, I'm too old to put in the stock market, folks. But anyway, I'm just showing you an example of frugality according to Jesus. My credit report, I read it this morning, is 830. I was bankrupt at one time, folks. But my credit report was 830 this morning when I paid a bill. I pay my bills 15 or 20 days ahead of time. They love me at our apartment complex. My rent's due on the 1st of the month. I usually pay it by the 20th every month for 3 years. They love me. And they bend over backwards to help Janine and I because they don't want to lose us. So I'm not bragging on me today. I'm telling you what it pays off. And, of course, to give. We've been givers all of our life. And so God blesses us like the Cooks. And many of you on here, Sheila Kelly's faithful. I know that in her church. I've been there and preached many times. Her and Michael are there, and they are supporting the church and just committed to it. And many of you are just so good. I've named a few names, but anyway, we're talking about frugality today. Let me go ahead and read our text. I guess I need to put the word in there real quickly, and then I'll talk to you. I'm just talking out of my heart today, though. I want to see you blessed. But the Bible says when they were filled, talking about when Jesus fed the 5,000, I believe it was, on the grass, 5,000. When they were filled, he said unto his disciples, gather up the fragments that remain, that nothing be lost. Can you imagine that? He owns the cattle of 1,000 hills. He can create anything. But yet he said, don't waste it. Gather it up. Don't leave one piece of bread on that mountain that I sat on one day, folks, and would listen to Jim Millsap teach in Israel. And so I could picture it there. It was like it was just awesome. And knowing that Jesus had taught there and Jim Millsap had taught there. But he said, frugality, we're talking about frugality according to Jesus. Now, I got a couple of quotes here. Waste not, want not. Okay? That makes sense. I don't know who said it, but Benjamin Franklin did say, a penny saved is a penny earned. Think about that powerful statement. You're getting ready to go out to eat, and it's $30 for me and Janine to just go to get fast food today. $30 easily. Just to get a salad at Chipotle and her to get some Slim Jim chicken. It cost us over $30 with no tip or anything. Fast food. So today we sit here, many days, we sit here and I say, you know what? We got this right over here. It's already purchased. It was a lot cheaper, so let's go ahead and eat at home. Well, that saved us $30. A penny saved is a penny earned. And then you invest that. Put it in a savings account. If you were going to spend it, you know you were going to spend it, and you didn't. That's money earned, folks. That's like making a wage that day. And so, frugality, according to Jesus, all things are sacred. Listen, Jesus said, don't waste one thing. All things are sacred. God created it all, and it is precious to him. He could create more bread. He could have had loaves and loaves and loaves of bread on that hillside. He could have just said, bam, like the manna, came out of the sky, like the quail flying over the camp of Israel, 3 feet deep for miles to feed 3 million plus people. And yet he said, no, take the little bitty fish and loaves that you have and I'll spread it out. I'll do a miracle. And then he got tons more than they had started with after everybody ate. And yet he said, don't waste it. It's sacred. It's created. It's part of my economy. And so I read the other day that the Lord commanded Israel to not cut down fruit-bearing trees for fortresses or for homes. You use the fruit-bearing trees for fruit and cut down the old cottonwoods and the trees that don't have any fruit on them to build your fortresses and your homes. In other words, allocate everything to its best use. Don't waste something. Don't waste a fruit tree to build you a house or a barn or a fortress for your unwalled city. Use the ones that don't have fruit. They're allocated for the purpose of building fortresses and houses. But the ones that bear fruit, keep them there. Pull that fruit off every year like the goose that laid the golden egg, man. You don't kill the goose and eat one meal out of it. You keep the goose and let the eggs keep coming, the golden eggs, Willy Wonka style. So anyway, but use a non-fruit-bearing tree to build the fortress. I wish I had understood investments when I was young. It's critical not to waste time or money. It's sacred. Allocate it carefully, because before you know it, both are gone, time and money. I'm 63 and a half years old now. If I would have known when I was 18 years old to put back 10% of everything I earned, good advice, folks. Put back at least 10% of everything you earn, and you'll never miss it. You think, well, I don't have it. My bills are $1,000. I make $1,000. Let me tell you something. Miraculously, things will turn around in your life, and next thing you know, the money will be there, and you'll have an emergency fund. If a washing machine breaks down, you won't have to go to Aaron's Furniture and charge one for 100 years at $29 a month. You can go pay cash for it. Janine and I are on a bedroom suit back there that we bought years ago from Anthony Del Vecchio, one of our church people. He became one of our church people. We won him to the Lord, and he worked at Aaron's as a manager. And we bought a beautiful bed and dresser and chest of drawers and end tables. It wasn't much because we paid cash. We didn't put it on the loan system. We paid cash. That thing is solid as a rock. Big old me sleeps on that thing. And it is not got a creak in it. It's not loose. I mean, this bed is strong. and we paid cash for it. It's been paid for many years. It'll last us till we die. The one we had before us, my brother had already had it 30 years, and we slept on it 30 years, and it was still good the day we got rid of it. But anyway, just telling you, let's make the right decisions and be frugal. I do thank God that I eventually learned it, but I lost a lot of time, time and money that would work for me. I was 17 and my girlfriend was 16, and we just didn't think we could save. We didn't know about saving. We were living paycheck to paycheck. When I was in the Air Force, I made $250 every 2 weeks. I mean, that was in my lifetime. I made $250 every 2 weeks, and our rent was $235. So one of my paychecks, and I paid our rent at $235, but we had $15 left to buy gas and to eat on, and to buy diapers and to buy formula and to buy all those things with. $15. Our cupboards were bare many times, but people would come by and take us out to eat. God would work miracles because we gave. We would stand around church at night because we had a church that couldn't hardly pay the mortgage payment in Bossier City. And so we would wait till the pastor went in there. Janine and I, and 2 or 3 other couples would wait and stand by his door until he came back out after counting the offering, and he said, "Folks, I'm $100 short on paying the bank tomorrow." And we would pull out our checkbooks. We had no money, but we would pull out our checkbooks and write all that we could to pay that mortgage the next day, Monday, at the bank. I'm not bragging on us. I'm giving you life lessons today. And I'm just telling you, it was a privilege and an honor to stand there and not have that pastor go into that bank with his hat in his hand, begging the banker for more time. We just were committed to keeping those church doors open because it had done so much for Janine and I. It took me away from getting drunk every night, smoking 4 packs of cigarettes a day, running around, staying out all night, torturing Janine emotionally, not physically, but emotionally, and her begging me to come home. That church had saved her and me from all of that craziness that I was doing. And so we did everything we could to keep the doors open and support the kingdom of God. Listen to this. My dad could have been very wealthy. Listen to this. I'm going to tell you a story that's a true story. You are not going to believe this. My uncle gave my dad a monkey, a spider monkey. He married a woman that owned a zoo. My uncle did. And he gave my dad a spider monkey. Meanest monkey you ever seen in your life. If us kids got within chain link of that monkey, it would scratch us and pull our hair and pinch us and everything else. It was chained in the backyard. But my dad took that monkey. Somebody wanted that monkey, and he traded it for an old car. Now, he got it free from Uncle, but he traded it for an old car, and then he traded it for another car and a couple other things. And before it was over, my dad had the most beautiful, one of those stained, I'm talking about the hull of this boat was stained, that beautiful, the interior had bathrooms and bedrooms, and it was a cabin cruiser. My dad started with a free monkey and wound up not owing 1 nickel on a big cabin cruiser. He could sell anything. He owned car lots, but yet he never taught us how to make money. When James Conley Air Force Base closed down, thousands of airmen left the Waco area, which left our city that my dad was chief police in completely a ghost town. Well, they were selling apartment complex for $4,000 or $5,000. Apartment complexes. This was in the 60s or 70s, early 70s. My dad wanted to buy them things. I mean, beautiful apartment complexes. Single stories, with the swimming pool. They were beautiful. Brand new. They built them for James Conley Air Force Base. My dad wanted to buy them. My mom was so scared to do it, she forbade it and didn't let him. We could have been landowners galore in Waco, owned apartment complexes. I would be filthy rich right now if my mom wouldn't have been scared of going in debt. But anyway, they didn't teach us. They taught us how to be frugal as far as food, and you didn't waste. And we grew up, and many of you will relate to this. We grew up on mayonnaise sandwiches, ketchup sandwiches, mustard sandwiches, and we grew up with, if anything, it was a treat to have fried bologna on them sandwiches, which we didn't get very often. And then cereal which has become a bad habit for me in my later life, but cereal that was dry probably because we couldn't afford milk. And so we grew up on dry cereal, sandwiches without meat, cereal without milk, and yet we thought we were the richest people in town. We played, we had a great time, we had good parents. And so we didn't think we were missing out on anything. It was a mayonnaise sandwich was a treat. And so anyway, but Mom and Daddy were frugal because they were born right during the Depression. They were raised by parents that lived in the heat of the Depression, farmers, and so they learned to be frugal in that area, but not with saving money or investing or anything like that. So I'm now obsessed. Not really, but we watch what our food stuff. Food has gone so high that we're in our senior year. So Janine and I will allocate our food to where it'll make several different things. Ground beef will make burritos. It'll make hamburger helper. It'll make all kinds of stuff. Tacos that Janine makes for me, these low keto tortillas that we make them on, and it's hardly any calories and hardly any carbohydrates. But I was asking Janine, is that meat still good that we cooked the other day? And we'll eat it. And yeah, it's still good. I smelled of it. It's all right. But anyway, we just don't waste it. It tears me up to have to throw something in the trash now. Used to in my younger days, we did eat our leftovers, don't get me wrong. But waste didn't matter so much to me. But it does today. And so we are just very careful with it. So I'm not obsessed with it, but I'm careful. So listen to this. And of course, every sermon, which I close with right now, has a spiritual connotation also. So frugality, according to Jesus, means don't waste your talents. If you have talents, don't waste them. Use them for the kingdom of God. Don't waste your calling. If you're called of God to be a church accountant, to be a hostess at the door, to be the landscaping guy, the guy that mows or girl that mows the yard at the church, a Sunday school teacher, whatever it is that God has called you, don't waste that calling. And then finally, your relationships. We went to the 4th of July. My body doesn't feel like it, but I wanted to see Kylo. I wanted to see Savannah and Derek. I wanted to get out among other people. And so our social life went up hundreds of % yesterday. We had a great time, talked to new people. One woman's going to Costa Rica. And she said, will you pray for me? They knew I was a preacher. And she said, will you pray for me that I have a safe trip? I'm scared. I'm not going with my husband. I'm going with my neighbor this time. And I'm scared to go on my own with my neighbor without my husband. And I said, you're going to have a great time. We will pray for you. God will bring you home safely. But we got to witness. We got to talk to people. We got to just be there with them socially. So we did not waste our relationship yesterday. We were frugal with our relationship, with our talents, with our callings of God. I hope this has blessed you today. I'm going to go back and read all of your comments. Let me know if this has helped you to show this to young people. We could talk about insurance policies where they could be their own bankers, where they could borrow from their own selves instead of a bank, and they pay themselves back with interest. It's like having a grocery store of your own. It's like having a bank of your own. I could talk to young people about this. We've bought cars out of our insurance policies now because the cash value is there, and then we pay it back. And we're our own banker. We don't have to go to a bank to get loans. I want to tell young people more about that. If you know any young people that would like to hear about this, have them private message me. I'm not selling this stuff, folks. I'm not making a nickel. This is not a multi-level deal. It's simply friendly advice that I learned that I wish I would have known about years ago. So don't think Sonny Cathy's in a business. He's trying to hook in my children. No, I promise you, I am not in this business, but I participate. New York Life is my insurance company, and we got thousands of dollars in our cash value. If our car breaks down tomorrow, we can go get another car out of our cash value and then pay it back with interest. And let it keep building dividends and interest. I want to tell young people about that, folks. You owe it to your children to let them talk to me. If you don't know about this, I won't make a nickel off them. I have no ulterior motive here other than to help them. Hope you understand that. But anyway, God bless you. I love you. There's nothing you can do about it. But more importantly, Jesus, Janine, Kylo, and all of my grandchildren love you. And that's the big bonus of the day. And you have a wonderful day and a weekend. And by the grace of God, we'll see you tonight for prayer. And then we'll start it all again next week. God bless you all. Bye-bye.